Hello everyone, this is Shreen Falari
And this is Aditi.
and today we are your hosts. On today's episode, we are joined by someone who has redefined what it means to follow your passion. He began his journey as a criminal lawyer, but life had other plans. Rooted in Goa and inspired by its abundance, he saw potential where others saw waste. That's how Wakao Foods was born, India's first jackfruit-based plant protein brand. From courtrooms to kitchen, from case files to farm, he chose a greener path with purpose in his arms, turning jackfruit's bounty into flavors so grand, bringing Goan goodness to tables across the land. Today, Wakao Foods is not just a food brand, but a movement spanning India and beyond, from US to Norway, with products that are shelf-stable, farmer-friendly, and future-forward. Sairaj is proving that sustainability can be delicious. Please welcome the visionary founder of Wakao Foods, Sairaj Dhond.
Thank you so much for sending me that introduction. It was amazing. I've never heard someone say all of these things about myself.
As a token of appreciation on behalf of everyone present here, we would now like to present you with the plant.
We are delighted to have such a dynamic personality like you here. Your journey has been really amazing, being featured on major platforms like Shark Tank, Vogue India, ET Hospitality World, and now gracing us with your presence. So let's start. Wakao has really left an impact. Let's start at the very beginning. The name, because Wakao is like such a catchy name and fun to say. How did you come up with it?
Thank you. First, let me just say hello to everyone. Hi guys, nice to be here. Saraswat College has been a college that I've been hearing about since I was in college, that is close to 15 years ago. A lot of my friends, cousins have studied there. This is one of the first BBA courses that was introduced in Goa. Nice to be here. I think I was here once before when I was a student. Good to see a full house. That was my only request with Shreen when she called me. I said, if I'm coming and if I'm going to spend a few hours of my day, I want to speak with more students. One more thing I want to tell you all is that she asked me if they want, if I need the questions in advance and whether I should know what is going to be asked to me. I said no. Let this be as organic as possible. So I also want all of you all to ask me questions. If you all should have questions. Ask me whatever you all feel like. I'm here for you all for the next 1 hour. And yeah, thank you. So your question, the name. This is the most commonly asked question. I keep getting asked this question. I thought it would come a little later in the interview, but I'll go to it. Yeah. So one thing that I always keep telling everyone is that as an entrepreneur or just as human beings, we should know what we are good at, but we should know with more clarity what we are not good at. And the creative part of it and all of these things are not something that I'm great at. I'm okay with, and I don't like okay. So I always hire the best people to do things which are very important. So we had an agency that we hired for coming up with a name. My brief to so that agency is run by a friend now of mine, good friend Manish Masi, who I'm still working with on different projects of mine. So Manish, my brief to Manish was, Manish, मुझे एक ऐसा नाम चाहिए जो, he's a Delhiite who now lives in Goa. I said, मुझे एक ऐसा नाम चाहिए जो may mean nothing, could be absolutely abstract, but कोई एक बार सुनेगा वो भूलना नहीं चाहिए. That was my brief. And for the first time, you guys are management students. I was a law graduate. I had zero knowledge of management studies. So he said it's a pyramid format. I don't know if you have studied that, of coming up with a name. So there are buckets which are there down, and as you move forward, the buckets get smaller, and you keep selecting names. And we went through more than 200 odd names, and I still remember one evening at around 10:30 in the night. So we had a WhatsApp chat. I said, let's just coordinate on WhatsApp instead of emails. And he sent me a list of close to 150 odd names. And I was just going through those names. And one name was Wakao, W-A-K-A-O. And I read it and I was intrigued. I said, this is something different. I've never heard this before. So I kept saying, Wakao, 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 Wakao. In different ways to see, that ring was there to it. If I could, there was a sense of remembrance. And my wife was sitting, I said, Wakao. So imagine you've never heard of a word before, okay? For the first time you're hearing something. She said, sounds okay, yeah, sounds nice. So then I got up and luckily that day my whole family was at home. And I went to the dining table and I said to my dad, I said, Daddy, Wakao. He looked at me and he said, are you mad? So, because we were hearing names like Arthaza, jackfruit, this and Jackie and very traditional names. And suddenly my non-Gen Z, non-millennial dad heard Wakao and he's like, what the hell? So my sister, who's 9 years younger to me, she was also there. And she said, no, Sairaj, this sounds like a Chinese name. People might, and the Doklam thing was happening, people will boycott you and this and I said, okay, relax. She said, what does it mean? So I said, okay, wait, relax, let me check. So I messaged Manish. I said, Manish, what does Wakao mean? And he sent me a very profound one-word answer. Nothing. And I was like, oh, okay, thank you. That helped. And so then he asked me a question. He said, what does Yahoo mean? And I thought for a good 5 minutes, what does Yahoo mean? It was nothing, right? Yahoo means nothing. So then he replied, he said, Wakao is just an expression of happiness. It's like, oh, Yahoo, Wakao. Oh, amazing. That's what Wakao it is. So then he gave me so I call it one of Manish's gems. He gave me a statement which all of you management students should hear. He said, Sairaj, there are no right or wrong names. There is a name and then your marketing makes it right. And from that day it was Wakao. And I think Wakao is one of our biggest strengths today. People love the name, they never forget the name. I have people when I am on airports and people like, Wakao. The other thing that I keep getting called, hey, jackfruit. So I like all of that. I don't want them to remember my name. I'm happy with them remembering my brand. Yeah. That's how Wakao came to us.
That is very catchy.
I couldn't agree more. That is very catchy. Another thing is, a lot of entrepreneurs take different paths to success. For you, was it a challenge not having a management degree or a business degree? Also, did your family background of business play an important role in becoming the entrepreneur you are today?
Okay, so I'm going to give you a very honest answer. Education can always help you, but it doesn't make or break you. I didn't do management, I didn't do any kind of MBA, any kind of BBA. I did law. I practiced hardcore criminal law for 1 year. I wanted to do that all my life. So one thing about me is no one can force me into something. I wanted to be a lawyer. I wanted to be a lawyer since I was a kid. My dad's older brother is a top criminal lawyer. I used to live with him, I used to be with him. 5 years of college, I went every day to court. I wanted to just get out of college and start appearing, mirrored and do all of that. And then when I did it for 1 whole year, every single day, morning 10 to evening 9, I realized that this is not something I wanted to do for the rest of my life. I realized that. But I had no management knowledge, understanding. Yes, I come from a business family. I'm a 4th generation entrepreneur. So, you can say that it runs in my blood. You can say that I always lived in, I used to go to the hotel, I used to be there, I used to see my dad talk, I used to see all of that. For sure, I won't say no. It would have helped me in certain things. But at the end of the day, it's just your journey. It doesn't matter what you've studied, it doesn't matter what your background is. It can assist you in a way, but at the end of the day, you have to live it and you just learn from your mistakes. Just because I come from a business family doesn't mean that I didn't fail in my ventures. Doesn't mean I didn't make mistakes. I did all of that and I learned from that. So, my ventures are my ventures. My family has nothing to do in it. I'm not a part of the family business. I am in the sense I'll get it inherited whenever I forget it. But these are my ventures which I run on my own. I'm not answerable to anyone in the family. I don't have to tell anyone anything. I'm just telling you from the point of view that yes, it's there, but it's my journey. Each one has their own journey. So what I'm doing today is completely different from my family business. My family business is a hotel business. So it's completely different from what I do. I sell to hotels today. So I would say it has not helped. Yes, it helps. It 100% it helps because you've been brought up hearing all of that. But that doesn't determine whether you are successful or not. And if given a chance, if given an opportunity to go back in life and probably do something differently, if I knew I was going to do this, then yes, I would do an MBA. For sure. There is no doubt. There is no denying in that. Even today, I want to do, but that's not for the studies part of it, but just to experience the college life. I may do Stanford, a small, that 15-20 day MBA, just for the fun of it, and also learn a bit. But what you can learn on the job, you cannot learn it in any MBA. For sure. So see, like I tell you, I'm a law graduate, but here I'm in your college, right? Talking to management students, telling them management things. You are still BBA. I've gone to IIMs. I've gone to IITs. I was in SPJ last month, in the 7th top ranked MBA college, taking a proper lecture for MBA students on retail marketing. So it doesn't matter what you studied. I've not studied an MBA, but it's at the end of the day what you build and what you learn while building. I've learned every single thing while building over the last 13 years. So yes, study well, do your BBAs, do a good MBA, but do it with the intention of learning something. I keep telling everyone, I keep telling all the young students or anyone who asks me, if you're doing an MBA or if you're doing a BBA, do it with the right intention, not just to finish your 3 years and get done with it. Think of how you want to use it tomorrow. That's very important.
I agree also in that, yeah.
I'm sure you're going to agree with most of the things that you
But okay, moving on, let's talk more about the journey into Wakao. So spotting a gap in the market where you noticed that jackfruit was mostly a waste product, where it was wasted, and turning that waste into something that everyone cherishes today is truly commendable. But once you had the idea for Wakao, what were the next steps, and how did you turn the concept into a product that is ready to go on people's tables now?
So it's been a lot of trial and error, hits and misses. So the whole idea came when, I don't know if you'll know of this or if you've heard it somewhere, but the whole idea came when I came across this one video from Malki Sharma Upadhyay. Heard of her? She runs First Post now. She used to run Beyond There. So this video, the title of the video was, I still have it, the world's new superfood, jackfruit. And I'm like, shit. Like 5 years back, I felt like a sock on my nose because jackfruit literally grew in my backyard. It fell, it rotted, and I think a lot of y'all can understand what I'm saying and can relate with it. It falls, it rots, and no one cares for it. And here the world was calling it a superfood. And from the day I quit law, my only aim was to build one of India's most loved brands. I'm a brands guy. I wanted to build one of India's most loved brands. I didn't know what the product was. So when I read this and when I saw this, I said, damn, yeah, no one's doing jackfruit. This could be that product. I didn't know. I started researching. As I went deeper into it, I read a lot about it. I realized that this is not jackfruit. It's a jackpot. There was like 1.4 million tons of jackfruit grown every year in India. 75% of it went to waste. And here the world was calling it a superfood. Someone had missed something somewhere. And I said, maybe we can find that missing link. And that's where the idea came in. Now, post that, there was a lot of research, R&D, and when I say research, I'm not talking about some hi-fi, it's like Google research, and just talking to people. So I had to find a person who could make this for me, what was the technology. So, and this was during peak COVID. During COVID, what were you guys doing? 10th standard? No. 6th standard? 10th? Open book exams. You all are all products of open book exams? Man, I don't know whether to be jealous of you all or to just be angry at my own fate. I was not the most fond of exams. I was just an average student. But yeah, okay. So during peak of COVID, I had to travel extensively to Kerala, which was like the epicenter of COVID, had the highest cases. I still remember, traveling in a flight and going to this village called Kannur in Kerala. It's a city, and I go further to a village called Parampa, where my first factory was. And that flight seemed like a charter flight. We were 4 of us on a big flight, 4 of us. And you could just walk and take whatever seat you wanted. And I was like an astronaut, full masked up and all. It was a little scary. I went there, we did some trials. I still remember an incident which I'll tell you all. So we did our first batch of trials there, and we brought it back into Goa. We started distributing it. Suddenly realized the product wasn't great. Forget great, the product was bad. And I got very strong reviews. So I pulled back the products. I said we need to rework on the taste, because this was not done in the way like how this was more Kerala taste which was done. It was not working. So I took a friend of mine, chef. His name is Anam Eregar. He has a good catering company now. Then he was a new chef. I said, Anam, can you create some products for me? So we did certain products here, and we were supposed to leave for Kerala, and my flight got cancelled 1 day prior. They cancelled probably because we were the only 2 people on the flight, I guess. So the flight was cancelled, and our entire thing was ready in Kerala. I had to go. So I asked him, he said, "You'll come with me, let's drive." So he said, "Okay." We started my Kerala and we left. And I drove to Kerala, me and him. We went there, we did the trials. Next day, put everything in my car back at 6 o'clock. And we left in the evening at 6, reached Goa at 2 a.m. again. And we again distributed all of that. This time the reviews were better. So the whole process started from there. The idea came from there. Then we kept on doing different things. We tried different channels. Certain channels worked, certain channels didn't work. There was no playbook for me. Okay? I didn't know. See, I am just one of you all. I am from Panjim. My family runs business of hotels and a petrol pump and whatever, but it's all based here. Everyone comes here. You don't go anywhere. I never traveled for work outside. I didn't know how to sell outside. I started selling here. I didn't know how to sell online. And I'm talking about 5 years back. So everything was new territory. Everything. No one in my family. That's why I said, at the start, it was completely different from my family did. You can just get the instincts of an entrepreneur from my family. Like how to be resilient and all of those things. But my business was completely different. It was something I had to learn. How to sell online, how to build a performance marketing platform, what are the things which are retail related, which are Proenca. So I learned all of it. And made mistakes, went wrong, came back, learned from it, did new things. Keep on trying and doing. Yeah, that's how the journey started.
It's interesting. You did mention how impact was a powerful tool for you. So how did it impact in shaping, refining, formulating your product? Like during the trial period, obviously you went through a process probably. But even at launch and post-launch, how did it impact you?
So I'm a firm believer, and I think everyone should understand this. You have to take feedback very constructively. You can't be like an ostrich with your head below the ground, away from. You have to be very close to the ground, especially because the kind of product that I do is food, right? Food and taste is very subjective. What I may like, you may not like. What you may like, you may not like. So it's very subjective, very difficult to get the right palate. So the effort is always to reach a median, which can be universally accepted by majority. So in this case, feedback becomes ultra critical. You want to hear what people are saying every single day, and only on that basis of that you keep on improving. So we started with 5 products, out of which 2 products we count off, completely removed. We added new products. Now when you remove, add, all of this is done based on feedback and what do you hear from people. So you have to keep on hearing. Even today, even now when we send to Dubai, there is feedback that comes from there that certain things need to be changed in your burger patty for this palette. Then we have to change that, we do that, we improve on that. So it's like that, yeah. You keep on working with feedback. Every region has a different feedback. When we started, we were just supplying to Pantry. Today I supply to 6 countries, I supply to every pin code in India, we supply to over 600 restaurants, we are fast growing. So the whole landscape has changed. The feedback landscape has also changed. So we are always on the lookout for it. So now also I make random calls. So we have certain orders that go online. So then I just pick a number and I call. I say, hi, I'm calling from Wakao Foods. Is it a good time to talk? And then they talk to me and they finish their entire thing. And then it's okay. By the way, I'm Sairaj. I run Wakao Foods. So then they're very happy. They're like, you are calling to take feedback? Because people have, someone who's ordered has seen us. They know about us. So that has been established. It's not like a cold call. And they also know who the founder is. So then that also builds more trust with the consumer that, okay, this guy is himself calling, taking feedback. But I think that's paramount. That's like people who are affected by feedback should just quit. You don't deserve to be an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs need to be thick-skinned. And you need to be, also sometimes, I agree that everyone's not thinking about the best for you, or someone may be purposely giving you some very unfair criticism or feedback. Fair enough, yeah, that's okay, yeah, that's life. You'll find all kinds of people. But because of that, you cannot close yourself from real constructive feedback. Take everything that anyone says with a positive attitude that maybe this could help me. Then you analyze it, see what you want to take from it. The rest you can just junk, but take what's important, use it, and move on. Like, I'll give you an example. Okay, just the other day. So we are starting our own QSR. So we want to build India's most loved, tasty jackfruit QSR. It's called Wakao Foods. And the first outlet is coming in Miramar, and then we want to take it to Pan India, all across. But so I was in Jabalpur last week, and I was with my channel partner there. We were doing visits to different hotels. So there was this gentleman who we sat with, and he loved our product, he loved my energy, he loved everything of us. Then I spoke about Wakao, and I told him this, that. He heard everything, and then he said to me, can I be frank? See, without being disrespectful. I said, absolutely, sir. He's a very senior gentleman. ये ना जो आप कर रहे हो ना 8 महीना चलेगा फिर बंद हो जाएगा. सर ओके सर सेमो हम भी यार अब क्यों बोल रहे हो. So I didn't get perplexed. Okay, first, what would be your first instance? Someone, you are building something, you not even someone says ये बंद हो जाएगा 8 महीने में. You are shit, and you go into a shell and get depressed. So I had my smile on my face, I had my composure. I said, yes, sir, tell me more. Why do you say that? I want to hear from you. He's a 65-year-old gentleman who's seen a lot of things in life. Then he said something very critical. He said, see, when you do the same thing and there is no innovation, I've been in this business for 20 years. If you keep selling the same thing and without innovating, people get bored. They'll try it for some time and then they'll go to something new. Because there's so many competing brands, there's so many things. And he said, so I don't mean bad for you, but I'm just telling you that if you look, I said, so you know what, you've told me such a great thing here, that innovation is so important. So whether I survive for 6 months, 8 months or whatever is, देखा जाएगा वो मेरे काम के ऊपर है, मेरे नसीब के ऊपर है, how we put it out. I take your feedback. So I eliminated that feedback that we closed in 6 to 8 months. I ignored that feedback. But the other feedback that he gave me, that you need to be innovative, you need to keep on innovating, do new stuff, that is something I took very seriously. I said, great insight. So when we come up with our products, there has to be innovation at our QSR. Maybe the food, maybe the way we promote it, maybe with the combos that we do. So now that feedback I've taken very strongly and I'm going to implement. So what I'm trying to say is, you don't have to take 100% of the feedback, but try and filter out and understand what's important from that, and don't get affected too much by the feedback. Just be very constructive and positive.
It's not that serious sometimes.
Life is not that serious, yeah. We take everything too seriously. We take first of all ourselves very too seriously, right? And we are offended at the drop of a hat. If you say something, someone says something, how could he say that? How could she do that? Don't take yourself too seriously. We are no one. We are not some great people. We're just normal people, yeah.
Okay, so that was Good. On a personal note, what's your favorite? A Wakao recipe you've created or your grandma's Goan Fansachi Bhaji, fondly known as Chikanachi Bhaji? Any special memories tied to that dish?
So, one thing is that I can't cook to save my life. That's a secret. I can't cook, I can taste. I like tasting food. I like giving great feedback. But I can talk like I can cook to save everyone's life. So there's a difference, when you're... So I always say this as a... I don't know the question, but I always say this as a brand owner, you have to be the best storyteller in the world. Because all your life what you're going to do is only tell stories. You have to keep telling stories to your investors, to your customers, to your team, to your employees, everyone. It's about telling and not bluffing. When I say stories, it's not bluffing. Telling the right thing in the best manner is storytelling. Yeah? So coming back to your question, some of the products that we've created are magical, especially with Wakao Foods. They're brilliant. Like we have a shawarma made from jackfruit. It's like brilliant. I love it. We have a ghee roast that we make. These are all in wraps that we serve. There's a buna, there's a lot of things. But my grandmom's Chikanachi Bhaji was iconic. It was something that So that's why I keep saying jackfruit has a touch of nostalgia. Wherever I go in India, when I say kathal, jackfruit, chakka in the south, fanas, people have some story to it. During season, I love this, I love that. हम कटल की बिरयानी खाते थे. Then Kolkata they say mutton ghosh. They used to call some I don't know the term, but it's like vegetarian mutton they used to call it. So everyone has a story about cattle. But to answer your question again, yes, my grandmom's bamboo.
I feel like it's a very underrated fruit now.
It is, but it's not going to remain for too long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love jackfruit.
So let's say it's a veg day, and as Goans, we follow it wholeheartedly.
Absolutely.
So when you're hungry and it's a veg day, what's your go-to Wakao recipe?
You want me to start from breakfast to dinner?
Your choice.
I love the sausages. The Wakao sausages are amazing. So it's very difficult to call what you're eating. It's like there's no way you can say this is jackfruit. You won't know what it is, but it's very tasty. So I love eating that in breakfast. That's something really tasty. You can pair it up with anything and everything. Then the wraps that we have, like I say now, are amazing. They're brilliant. I love eating it. Also the butter jack. So because I don't cook, like our butter jack product is a ready product. You can heat and eat. So you can just heat it, add some more spices if you want to make it a little spicy, add some butter to it, whatever, and then eat it. That can be eaten with just chapati or rice. But our major business now is we supply to hotels and restaurants. So any hotel in Goa, I think almost all hotels, anywhere you go, there is a jackfruit dish on the menu, that would be our product, which has come then and they made a dish out of it. We sell all across India now, that product. But going forward, the cow menu, so I keep it. So now, I've got a little healthy and all here in the last half. I've always been, but now I've got a little extra healthy. So I count my calories and all of that nonsense I do. So I get sometimes really tempted. I was telling my wife the other day, it's sometimes hard in office. Because we have a full back-end kitchen set up on top. We have a floor where the entire kitchen is done. And they come for tastings every half an hour. They say, taste it. Just see what you have to say. And being the founder, so I'm very rarely in office. These days because I travel quite a bit. So whenever they find me in office, they keep feeding me. So then I have to just take one bite, and sometimes it's so tempting. Like yesterday we had a channel partner from Indore who had come for their training and all in office, and full spread of all the dishes in office, and I'm just looking at it. I want to, but I'm not. Because I can't eat too much. How much can I eat, yeah? But yeah, the ghee roast is too tempting. Like my personal favorite. I love it. Who likes ghee roast here? The Mangalorean style ghee roast. It's like too good, yeah. I love it. That is something I really love.
Did you try that?
If you're in Panjim, you can order it on Swiggy and Zomato.
That's too far for us.
Make a especially for that.
I I don't leave any opportunity to market. I'm a branding guy.
So, yeah, we'll try that out. Was there ever a review or a testimonial that really touched you, something that made you think that yes, this is what I do all this for?
So, this is a very simple answer. And because I was on TV, okay, and India is a mad country. If you come on TV for even 2 minutes, like people go crazy. So I've seen a lot of this clicking of selfies at airports and a lot of people coming up to me, talking to me, and I'm used to that. And that initially it felt really nice. For anyone it would, I'm normal. If you always dream of this something, no? Like, people recognize you at airports, they click selfies, someone said, this is my daughter is a big fan of you, my family is a big fan, I want to put it on my family chat, can I click a picture with you? So all of those things, then people praise my parents a lot, they come and speak to my parents, tell them they're proud of your son. I once jokingly told my mom, I said, Mommy, people outside are more proud of me than you guys. So now suddenly there is one article which has gone viral and some 100 crores we've done and some rubbish people are talking and it's going everywhere. And all of this put aside, this makes you happy, but I don't live my life for this. I don't do this for this. But my dream when I started was to take jackfruit from our backyard to the world. I wanted to build a brand that would be proudly, more than made in India, proudly called a Goan brand. Like a Goan hardcore brand, which is made in India, which will go to the world. That was my dream. So what makes me most happy is that when friends click a picture of my product at some retail store in Dubai and send a "I'm so proud of you seeing this is in Dubai." Then the other day a random founder from Bangalore clicked a picture of from holiday in Singapore, where they have used our branding. So it's called a Wakao menu with our brochure in their buffet in Singapore. And he clicked a picture that everybody is so nice to see you here. So when these kind of things happen and people like, you feel that okay, we are doing something right, yeah. We are happy that our brand is going, people are talking about it across. I think that's what I live for, to take this every day to another place, to another geography. So in the last 3 months, we've appointed 10 channel partners, in fact 2 months across India, and these are like tier 2, tier 3 cities. So in Jabalpur, we are in Indore, we are in Mysore, we are now in Rajkot, Hyderabad, Delhi, Bombay, those are okay. But these kind of cities give me tremendous pleasure when we go there. Even when I visit these places, the kind of love and adulation that they have for the brand is something that really touches me, because I have never sold a single packet in Jabalpur. And when I was there for 3 days, the way people were talking to us, they were talking about our brand, they were seeing, that makes you feel nice. And so that's like real India. When you're going there, and when you know that your brand has presence in those places, then that feels nice.
Makes it all worth it.
Makes it all worth it, yeah.
So we've spotted Wakao merch in all your podcasts, reels, and all over the internet. Super cool branding. Even today, we were hoping that you would wear one and come.
I didn't disappoint you.
Yeah, definitely not. So was that your idea or your team's? And more importantly, how do we get some of the merch?
So the merch was there before I had a team. It's my idea. So I'm a chalta firta hoarding. And when this happened actually, I won't say it's my idea completely, that would be wrong. I have a very close friend who's like a mentor to me. His name is Proenca. Many of you may know him. He's from Margao. So Praveen once said to me, he has this company called Upgrade. And he keeps wearing these Upgrade things. So once he said to me, Sai, if we don't wear our brand very proudly, why will anyone else even care about us? Why do we wear Nike, Burberry, this, that, and roam around? How does it matter? Yeah? Wear your brand proudly. If you're not going to wear it, who's going to wear it? Not that before that I should not try to wear, but that is fortified my belief. And one thing that I realized is that brand has tremendous recall if it's visible. So when I'm at an airport, for example, I wear other clothes also. It's not that I wear only one, but if there's a professional engagement, or if there's a talk like I'm coming to, if I'm attending a meeting, if I'm traveling for work, which is 90% of my travel. Just the other day I went to Bombay to participate in High Rocks. And there I went with my wife and my son and my sister. Finally, I won on Wakao. I wore a nice t-shirt and I went. So, whenever I go to all of these places, you will find me with Wakao. You will find Wakao here, you will find Wakao here, you will find Wakao everywhere. So, I have around 10 of these hoodies. I have another 15 t-shirts. So, I have an in-house designer, my sister. So, she is a fashion designer. So, I get all of this done for free. So, even at Hyrox, I don't even know of Hyrox, but it's a sporting event. So, at Hyrox, I wore an amazing t-shirt with Wakao. Mr. Wakao written at the end. So, branding, yeah, I won't miss the camera. I won't miss it for anything. So, it's very important. When you're building a brand, it's very important to wear your brand on your heart. Be very confident about it. Another tip, if you look at anyone and there's something on a t-shirt of a person or on their shirt, you tend to read it. It's just subconscious. You see something on the t-shirt and you'll read it. And I've found so many times, see, you can't expect people to remember my face. Or so many times people have read and they've read, wow. I'll tell you a fun fact. I was at Hyrox the other day, and suddenly a gentleman passed me. We were in rush, like I was trying to record my wife doing something. And he turned to me and said, Sairaj. Wakao. I said, yeah, hi. And he was Vedita Singh's husband, Sugar Cosmetics. So, and then we hugged and said, hey, hi, how are you? And we never met before. But I'm just saying, recall. Always remember, recall will come if you keep hammering it into people's head. Yeah, that's why you'll see me like this for the rest of my life.
So one question remains unanswered though.
What is that? Sorry.
Where can we get a pair?
Where can you get a pair? Very soon somewhere. Right now only I'm wearing it and our team wears it, but Wakao wear will come out soon someday.
We are hoping it does. Also, a quick question, I'm sure you will like this. Does Sairaj Dhond make Wakao, or does Wakao make Sairaj Dhond who he is today?
Who's Sairaj Dhond? I don't care who is, yeah. See, I'm telling you, I also don't like to call myself Mr. Wakao. See, that's what people call me. And that's my identity that has been created. Today there's a very thin line between Sairaj and Wakao. It's almost blurred. I'm Wakao. Wakao is me. That kind of a thing has happened. But I do it only if it helps the brand. If you want to call me Mr. Wakao, I don't mind being called that. But if it helps the brand, I'm not a narcissist. Like, yeah, I like myself, but it's not over the brand. So I firmly and truly believe that Wakao is not my brand. I'm a custodian of the brand. It's of everybody who works at Wakao. It's everybody's company. The company has to live forever, not me. I'm going to die someday. And no one's permanent. I can die tomorrow. I can die after 50 years, after 70 years. But Wakao has to live on. It cannot die. So I'm a firm believer that I'm the custodian of the brand. I founded this thing, but it's been run by the other 20 or 30 people who run it. I work the least at Wakao. I only go around telling stories. So we built a team which is really, really strong. The fundamentals are right. Everyone has their emotional equity in the brand. Everyone owns the brand. And that's how this can grow. So I just, like I said, I don't care if, I'm very happy if people look at me and say jackfruit. If people look at me and say Wakao. That's why it's Mr. Wakao. It's not Sairaj. I could have put Sairaj and roamed around. But I wanted people to say Mr. Wakao. Because Wakao. Forget the Mr. It's Wakao. So the more they say that, so even in the gym, so then we got one Hyrox t-shirt there and they were printing free. So I put Mr. Wakao behind. All the gym, Mr. Wakao. So everyone then, it's a recall. No one in gym, 100 people in the gym are not going to forget Wakao. They'll keep reading it every time they pass me. Good, no? So that's branding. I don't want them to forget it. So Sairaj is insignificant in front of Wakao.
So, moving on to a bigger picture or the global vision that you have, do you want jackfruit to stay a specialty product or become something that's as common as butter in every household worldwide?
What product is that? Specialty, what product?
Specialty.
Specialty?
Yeah.
I thought you used some solid word which I didn't understand.
Specialty product.
So I want jackfruit to be in every household. So when we started off as a mock meat, as a plant-based meat, and that was the trend there. But very quickly I realized that jackfruit is very strong on its own feet. We don't need to garb it with anything else. So we call ourselves India's first jackfruit company. People ask us, who are your competitors? I say paneer. I say we can replace paneer in every single dish and do so much more because it's so versatile. It's an amazing product. So I want jackfruit to be a household name. I want it to be everywhere in everyone's plate. So globally, in India, first India only, India there's so much scope, so we're going to so many cities now, we're expanding very quickly. So in the next 3 months, we are going to be in 30 odd cities with channel partners. So that's a big task, and we want to make that possible.
So, what are your global ambitions for Wakao? Where do you see it heading next?
I just want to build one of India's most loved brands that will go all across the world and make India and Goa proud. So yeah, like I said, after a point of time, no, people will not remember Sairaj. Yeah. People will remember Wakao. And what are the roots of Wakao? It's a Goan brand. When people talk about Wakao in India, they say, "Are ye Goa ka brand hai na?" Who cares who I am here? At the end of the day, it's just, yes, we are so proud that it is something from Goa. That's every single day I feel so proud about that. So when people ask me, are you a proper Goan? Because see, when we Goans go anywhere in India, people go mad. You say Goa and there's a twinkle in the eye. Goa, as if Goa is it is heaven, but Goa. So I like to use this phrase. I say I'm an unadulterated Goan. Without any offense to anyone else, but I just like to say that I'm a proper Goan. And I'm so proud of it. And my brand is also a fully Goan brand. So I keep saying, we'll always, forever be headquartered in Goa. We have an office in Bombay, but not leaving Goa and going anywhere. Here, I'm going to live here all my life. So that's the global ambition. We just want to build a brand which is really strong, which is profitable, which is loved by people, which people swear by. So even with our social media communication and all of that, we have now engaged a very nice agency. We are working with them very closely. They're not even an agency for how to build the entire narrative around how. Because my whole thing is that I want to build love in the people. I want that kind of engagement where people really swear by their brand. That's important.
So feedback was very important when you were building your product. You also mentioned how you didn't like the first round of the product because the flavor profiles were not it.
Yeah.
They were more Kerala based, as you said. So how many rounds of tweaking and testing did it take before you felt, okay, this product is good enough to be on the shelves now?
I think 2-3 rounds, but they kept on getting tweaked further. Even today it gets tweaked. So there is no permanent solution or permanent best product. It will keep on getting improved. Even Wakao, every single day we are doing some changes in certain things. Let's do something else with it. So it's an ongoing process. With food, it's ongoing. So now we are launching, finally, after so much of trial and error, we are launching chips, jackfruit chips. So I'm excited about it, but we're going slow with it. We want to take feedback. We want to see how people are responding to it. Yesterday I gave my son, who's a chips fanatic, he loves chips. He's 7. I wanted to check how this fellow likes it. So first, he's always that. Anything you give first, he said, no. So I said, try it. Then he took one small one. I had to come to the office. Then I waited. Then he went to pick the second chip. Done. If he's gone and picked the second one, that means it's good. Then I said, take some and go. He brought it. Make full. So then I realized that he's liking it. So then it went, my in-laws, they all tried and all that. I got good feedback. So now we'll do a bigger testing. But feedback is very important. Then we said, what kind of flavors can we introduce? So now we're starting with 2 flavors. One will be a plain sweet one will be masalas. So feedback doesn't stop. It keeps going on, and you have to always take it constructively.
Moving on, the Horeca industry is evolving. Can you please tell our audience what the Horeca industry is and how you approached the Horeca industry for your product?
So Proenca is hotels, restaurants and cafes. Just for those who thought this was some big jargon, it's not. And don't worry, I didn't know any of this before I also started. So we all learn. So how you started was, and how now I tell every channel partner, how you should start is from your neighborhood. So the first restaurant that we ever supplied to was Black Sheep Bistro in now Miramar, then it was in Panjim. So Prahlad was my first ever hotel restaurant client, and that product till date is there. For almost 4 years now, that product is there on his menu. His menu has evolved a lot, but jackfruit tostadas on his menu have still remained. And today we supply to more than 500, 600, I don't know, I've lost count. But I'm saying that it starts from there. So my first trials also actually were when I got a few packets of raw jackfruit, put them into smaller packs, and I just distributed them to some of my favorite restaurateurs. So I gave Pranav of Batisco, I gave Amay and Gaurish of Dips, I gave Prahlad, I gave a few more people. Then I gave some of my aunts who cook well. I said, make your favorite dish out of this. And you taste and call me also for tasting. I also want to try it out. And that is when I realized that this product is a killer. And that was my first real trial or R&D. If you have to. This is how I did it first. So now what we do is and that's business progression. You first supply to people who are easy to supply to within your ecosystem, either friends, family, neighbors, hotels which you have approached to. Get the product selling there, then go beyond and say, okay, those 10 are buying from me, why don't you make? Then from there you go. So then we have rate contracts with Hilton, all leading Hiltons buy from us. We sell to almost every Taj, every Marriott. So for me today, when I go to anyone and I say that, अरे वो Marriott ले रहा है मेरे से, Hilton के साथ rate contract है, my authenticity is built. People start believing you. So that helps, and that's marketing then. And then that's how you progress. So you start small, do a few things. So all my channel partners say, concentrate on closing your first 10 outlets. Then you will move to 100 easily.
I love how you explained R&D to us. Like, as students, if you tell us that we have to do an R&D of a product, we'll probably... Yes, and we'll probably think of something really hi-fi with all machines and surveys and...
Sometimes we complicate things too much. You know, the answer sometimes in the easiest things. And as simple as you can keep it, it brings so much more clarity. So instead of getting too complicated with things, and the worst thing is, you know, I hate going when I don't go to is this business plan competitions. I hate it. I used to go when I was just new out. Now I don't go to that anything. But I hate it. You know why? Because there's so much lack of application of mind. Everyone wants to put a gado. Everyone wants to put some rubbish business. No one wants to even apply their mind and see what is the problem that you can solve. And I keep saying this, okay, and I'm going beyond your question and saying this. Today, when I was studying, when I was in college, there was no term as entrepreneurship. Or none of us had heard of that word. And I'm not talking of 30 years back, 12, 15 years back. There was nothing called entrepreneurship. Today, entrepreneurship is sexy. You feel, like people like me will wear hoodies and sit here and we travel and I talk about going to this city, that thing, this thing, that thing. But that's the... So again, Praveen once said to me, he said, you know, Sai, he said, you are spoiling people. I said, how? He said, you're giving them very unrealistic expectations of entrepreneurship. And that's when I thought it was my duty to put this out. That all of this looks fine and looks good. But you can't go into my mind and see what's happening in my mind. It's screwed up right now. There's too much stress. It's crazy. It's crazy to the level that if you are not strong, you can collapse. And trust me when I say this. I'm not trying to scare you, but I'm trying to give you a reality check. As an entrepreneur, you have to have a very nice, cool face, where you are cool in decision making, you have to take certain things. Everything, the buck stops at me. I don't have any co-founders. My people who work with me are not answerable to anyone. I am. So you have to be cool, calm and healthy. Now, as soon as this ends, I just told your professors also, as soon as this ends, I have to rush to Panjim because I have my consultant coming there and there is an issue. and it has been lingering on for a few days. And it's a very pressing issue with a lot of stress involved. And I have to have a very frank conversation. It's a tough conversation that I need to have. Okay? So understand when I say I can't reveal too much, but it's a tough conversation which could be make or break. High stakes. And I have to go after laughing and having a good time, because I have to rush back and sit into that conversation. So it's not easy. If you ever want to be an entrepreneur, don't become an entrepreneur because you think it is cool. Because you think you are mere marzi ka malik. I am my own, I can take my own decisions and this and that. You don't want to take decisions sometimes. I have a friend of mine who works in a company, and she says, after hearing what you talk, so much better to be me. I come home at 6 o'clock, I have no stress. What happens with that company? I get my salary on the 10th or the 1st or 5th or whatever. Today's what, 11th? No? Yesterday we paid salaries. Can't tell you how tough that day is. So, what I'm trying to tell you again is that become an entrepreneur for the right reasons. And what are those right reasons? You should become an entrepreneur only and only if you want to solve a problem. Find the problem and become an entrepreneur to solve that problem. All of this are byproducts. If you solve the problem well, if you help your consumers, they will help you. So, if you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to be a founder, find your problem and solve it in the best way. That is the only reason why you should become an entrepreneur. None of the reasons otherwise are valid. They are all byproducts, and this remains for some time. I've seen so many founders who've come on Shark Tank also, who are nice guys, who had all that adulation that has happened, and later on in that company has closed down. I can give you 10 names of people, my time, my friends, whose companies have closed down, and that's really sad. But it can impact you really hard, this whole highs of life that you see is not, I call it cosmetic. It's just glamorous to see, but it's not real. So it's very superficial, yeah. So be an entrepreneur for the right reasons.
Really good answer. Do you feel launching Wakao during post-COVID wave of health, nutrition and veganism was perfect timing? Or would it have been a very different journey if you had launched earlier?
I don't know. But it started and it came across because of that time. Because I read so much about it. Because at that time what had happened was I actually started researching about food. And that's when I came across this. It's not like it just accidentally came. So again, I keep repeating it, but Praveen sent me that video. Because I was looking at finding something in the food sector. I was researching kokum, I was researching mango. Because at that point of time we realized that people had become so conscious about what they were eating, what's coming on your plate. Food had become a necessity. People were ready to spend that 100 rupees extra for something that would be healthy. So that whole discussion was happening, and that's why we ended up doing this. But I don't know if I've done it before, after all this. We never know, hypothetical. But yeah, we started because it was during COVID, and that's why it all happened. Otherwise, probably I would still be doing real estate. So before this, I had done a very successful real estate project. And then I was going to do a 200 apartment project. And that's when COVID happened. And then I put that on standstill, because I was not sure what was happening.
Now for the Shark Tank experience. We've repeatedly heard you say that there is a before Shark Tank and there is an after Shark Tank. So we cannot not ask, how much did Shark Tank change things for you? And more importantly, was the D2C dream fulfilled?
Shark Tank. So I'll repeat it again. I had a life pre-Shark Tank, I had a life post-Shark Tank. It completely changed. Like I mentioned earlier, it was mad. When I shot the episode, and while I was on the day of the shoot, so it was a 4-day shoot, on the day of the shoot, my wife came and my closest kid, like the number 2 in our company, his name is also Sairaj Dhond. So SK and Sajal came to Bombay. He came to help me, she came to see what was happening. Because it was crazy, it was a film city set, it was in Goregaon, it was humongous. So it was good fun. When we were on our way back in the car, I told Sajal, I said, when this thing comes on TV, our lives are going to change. I'm 200% sure. Because I shot it in that way, I knew what had come out, the outcome of that whole thing was crazy. I knew that the Sony team there and there told me we are coming to Goa to shoot a backstory for you. The directors told us that you have to shoot a backstory for this guy. So I knew that things were going to become mad and we had to be ready for that madness. And that's when we started putting things in place, getting ready for that madness. We were 10 months old. We had just started. And so that is how things became. But overall for the brand, it was super. Because even today our video has 4.5 million views on YouTube. And that's just one video, there are multiple videos. That whole tag, as seen on Shark Tank, remains with me for life. No one can take it away. No one. So anywhere we go, people, okay, this is not to praise what I'm saying, but I'm just saying that, just to tell you the impact it had. Yesterday, the channel partner who was there from Indo, he said, sir, मैंने आपका pitch ना 20 बार तो देखा है. जब भी मैं ऐसा डल होता हूँ लाइफ में, फ्रस्ट्रेट होता हूँ तो मैं वो pitch देखता हूँ. इतना मजा आता है मुझे देखने. I'm just saying it has impacted in such a way, and that impact for the brand is humongous. You can't believe it. And therefore, any place you go now, this channel partners, any place they go to pitching now, and it's embarrassing. They remove that video and he said, sir, देखो, sir, आए थे. भाई बाद में दिखाना जब मैं जाता हूँ. But it's a pitching trick. It's an added marketing tool. Simple. All the other things are separate, but this marketing tool that we've got for our life is in our hands, is on YouTube. No one can take it away. So in that way, going to Shark Tank is the most miraculous thing that can happen to any brand. It's you can't even look at the upside that it has. There is no downside.
It's big screens and a lot of pitching, negotiating on screen. But what we really want to know is what happens behind the scenes. How involved are the sharks really? Do they check in to help? And is it more hands-off once the deal is closed?
So I don't know if you know it, but I didn't take the deal. I took it on the show. I danced with them, I hugged them. And I came out and said, I don't want to deal. Yeah, you all knew it. Some of you knew it. So I didn't take the deal on the show. I still own 100% of my company. We're still strapped. But having said that, I know a lot of friends who've taken the deal and they do help. The sharks are nice people. They're very nice people. Even my sharks was damn good people. Even if I meet them, like I told you, Vinita's husband and Mandy, they're nice people, yeah. They're normal people like us. They're just a little more successful and good for them. And they give back to society. They give back to all entrepreneurs. They do help, but you have to ask for help because they're too busy in their own life. They have companies to run. Every year they're investing in 20, 30 new companies. It's humanly impossible to go and check on people individually, but if you ask for help, they do help, 100%. And the insights about Shark Tank is that it's a very genuine show. There is no scripting. The scripting is maximum to the 3-minute pitch that we do on the show. But other than that, it's very, very genuine. It's normal, straightforward. They ask you questions, you answer questions. Sony has nothing to do with the deal beyond the show. And the sharks have nothing to do with anything that goes on the show. It's Sony's property, that is the shark's property. Very clear division.
You said that being on Shark Tank made a huge impact, right? So, do you think a shark's opinion, especially a harsh one, can actually make or break how consumers see a product?
Absolutely. So we have a Shark Tank WhatsApp group where there are some Shark Tank. There are all the Shark Tank pitchers are there. Whoever has pitched till now, they are on that group. There are some very disgruntled ones also, whose lives have got screwed after the outpitch came on air. I don't even remember that one. Nabi, guy who had come, belly shaper. That guy has gone into depression. So he he abuses them day in and day out. And his company was just closed down, I think. But yeah, that could also happen. That could definitely happen. And therefore, I think that I'm blessed. I don't think there was any negative comment in my entire show. So we got everything good out of it.
Okay, looking ahead, let's wrap things up with exciting stuff. We've seen Wakao Cow, your new cloud kitchen, pop up on Insta. What's really cooking there? Like literally.
So we supply to so many restaurants and hotels across India, and we have a 90% repeat with it. So we realized that if you make amazing stuff out of jackfruit and give people, people love it. So if we were supplying, why don't we do our own thing with it, you know? And I realized that there's a big gap in the market as far as tasty vegetarian food in the QSR segment. There is no real good QSR which is young, which is lively, which can do that. So I said, if we have to go to the market and build a brand, rather than retail, because in B2B you don't build a brand, we can do it through the QSR. And that's when the whole thing of Wakao Cow came up. It's been going in my head for the last 2 years. And finally I took the plunge. I said, let's just do it. So we're coming up with the first outlet in Miramar. We're going to build SOPs for it, build an entire structure, run it for 2 months. And in the next 2 years, we're going to build 500 outlets across India and the world. So yeah, so that's very exciting even for us. We are very excited about this. We think this can be our big leap into the retail game. And hopefully things work out. If not, you'll find us doing something else.
And since me and my co-host are big fans of your Instagram teasers, can you drop a hint or a teaser about what's next coming soon?
So coming soon, so I'll give you the date. I've not announced it anywhere, but 29th October is going to be the launch of the QSR. It's going to happen in Miramar. 29th October is the 5th anniversary of Wakao Foods, and on that day we are going to launch our first QSR, and it also happens to be my birthday. So, this is the perks of being a founder who has the liberty to do whatever you want to do. So when you were launching, asking me like, when do we launch? What do we do? I said, my birthday. So I just kept, some of this old grandfather, great grandfathers, you find who don't know their birthday also. They fix one day and they say, this is my birthday. Wakao's birthday is like that. It's my birthday, Wakao's birthday. So 29th October is when we're going to launch the QSR, and hopefully it works for us and we can give the people something that they can really love and cherish.
Mark your calendars.
Mark your calendars. And please guys follow us on Instagram. We need your love. Don't follow me if you don't, but follow Wakao Foods.
Okay, due to time constraints.
Yeah, time constraints. I'm sorry.
That's a wrap. Huge thanks to Sairaj Dhond for joining us and showing how one fruit can spark a whole movement. From courtrooms to jackfruit, it's been quite the journey, and we are so glad to have you here. As a heartfelt gesture of gratitude, I would request Shreen to present you with a memento from our end for taking the time out of your very, very busy schedule and being a fabulous guest on this episode of Echoes of Experience. Thank you so much for coming, and we hope everyone here had a great time.
I hope everyone had a great time. I had a great time. Thank you for calling me here. And guys, just one final thing. This is the best time to start a startup in India. There are so many things that are going for you. Your institute is taking all these efforts to do all of these things. This never happened with us. There are so many people who are out there to help you. The government schemes are there. There are EDC gives you CMRY loans. There is no reason for you not to get into and start something of your own. Think out of the box. Look for real problems and start creating. Yeah? All the best.